Welcome back, deep divers. Today, we are going to jump headfirst into um, a really fascinating document called Terra 2, which lays out like a pretty ambitious plan for what might be humanity's next big evolutionary step,
Yeah.
leaving Earth.
Leaving the planetary womb, so to speak.
Exactly, leaving the planetary womb. And how do they propose we do that?
Well, they actually just launching a, how to put this, a sperm ship into
It's a
space.
sperm ship.
Yeah.
Bold idea, right? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But this document, it's not just some wild tale. It actually weaves in real scientific theories and even some pretty out there claims about receiving messages from extraterrestrial intelligence.
It's a fascinating mix of science and philosophy and, yeah, some pretty far out stuff, but it's definitely worth exploring.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we're going to be looking at excerpts from Leary, Timothy Terra II PDF. We will put a link to the full document in the show notes.
Be warned, it's a wild ride. We are talking about interstellar communication, the Earth as a giant womb, even the quest for immortality.
Right. It's mind-blowing. So our mission today is to break down the core ideas behind this whole Starseed projection and try to figure out, like, what the potential implications might be.
Both practically and philosophically.
For sure. Okay, let's dive in. So this document, it starts with a pretty wild claim. It says that a comet was sent to our solar system, like as a signal for humanity to pack up and leave Earth.
A cosmic invitation of sorts.
A cosmic invitation. I love that. And they even suggest that this comet, it might have been Comet Kuhutek.
The one visible back in 1973.
Yep, that's the one. And the idea behind this is that, for intelligent life to like reach its full potential, it has to communicate with other beings out there in the universe.
Right. True intelligence requires that kind of interstellar dialogue. It's not enough to just be smart on your own planet.
You got to get out there and mingle.
Exactly. And, as crazy as it sounds, this idea resonated with some people, even inspired Paul Kantner, the musician, to write a song about it.
Wow, a song about a cosmic invitation. That's amazing. Okay, so we've got this comet, right? Basically a telegram from space. Say, hey, Earthlings, it's time to move out. And this brings us to, I think, one of the most central metaphors of this document. The Earth as a womb.
The planetary womb.
Yes, the planetary womb. It's like, is this just some poetic language, or is there, like, a deeper meaning here?
Oh, it goes much deeper than that. Terra 2, it argues that the Earth is literally a womb, and humanity is ready to be born into the galaxy. And this actually ties into some real scientific theories like panspermia. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, panspermia. That's the idea that life on Earth might have actually originated from space.
Yeah, right. It's the idea that life might have been seeded here from elsewhere in the universe. And there is even a more radical version of that called directed panspermia, where some scientists, like Francis Crick, one of the guys who discovered DNA, suggested that life on Earth was actually purposely seeded by an advanced alien civilization.
Whoa, purposely seeded, like an interstellar gardening project.
It's a wild thought, but some serious scientists have entertained it.
Wow. Okay, so if we are following this whole womb metaphor, right, does that mean all the problems we're facing here on Earth, things like overpopulation, environmental crises, all that stuff, are they just like, growing pains?
That's exactly how Terra 2 reframes it. All those global issues, they are not signs of failure. They are like birth pangs, of a species that's outgrowing its planetary cradle. Like, we are ready to be born into the galaxy, but the birth is a little messy, you could say.
A messy birth. That's a very vivid way to put it.
It gets the point across.
It does. Okay, so we've got the cosmic signal, we've got the Earth as a womb idea. Now let's talk about the vehicle for this cosmic birth. The sperm ship itself, Terra 2. What is this thing?
So Terra 2, it's envisioned as this massive, totally self-sustaining spaceship. It would carry the best and brightest of humanity to the stars. It would have everything you need. Artificial gravity, hydroponic gardens. Basically, it would be like a replica Earth environment.
Like a mini Earth cruising through the cosmos.
Exactly. And they weren't messing around with the timeline either. They wanted to build this thing in orbit around the moon and launch it before the year 2000.
Before the year 2000. Talk about ambitious.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
So who gets to ride this space ark? I'm guessing it's not just like an open invitation, right?
You are right about that. They proposed a crew of 5,000, the most intelligent, creative, and capable individuals Earth has to offer.
Wow, talk about an exclusive club. What would life even be like on board? I mean, Generations would be born and raised on this ship.
Right, and they go into detail about the selection process. It would be super rigorous, focusing on things like adaptability, psychological strength, and the ability to work together. They knew this would be a generations-long voyage, so compatibility and resilience were like absolutely essential. And get this, they even talked about moving beyond traditional family structures.
Yeah, like exploring new types of relationship.
Exactly. They knew that things would have to change, that humanity would have to evolve to survive and thrive in this new environment.
So it's not just about building a spaceship. It's about reinventing society, rethinking what it means to be human.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
That is wild. Okay, so we've got this hand-picked crew, a spaceship that's basically a mini Earth, and a journey that could last for generations. But wait, there's more. This document also claims that immortality is within reach, like it's hidden within our DNA.
It's interesting because, back in the 70s when this was written, scientists were just starting to understand DNA and aging. So the idea of like manipulating genes to extend lifespan, it wasn't as out there as it might seem now.
Right, so it wasn't completely science fiction, even back then. But hold on, if people could live forever, wouldn't that create like a whole new set of problems?
Absolutely. And Terra, too, it acknowledges that. They say that extending lifespan would require expanding our mental capacities as well. We'd need to, like, boost our brains to handle the vastness of time, and the complexities of interstellar life.
So we are talking about hacking aging and upgrading our brains, all while building a giant spaceship. This is like a lot to take in.
It's a lot.
Okay, and how did they plan on paying for all this? Space travel isn't exactly cheap.
Terra, too, it proposes funding through a combination of donations, research contracts, and media rights. They were thinking big, not just scientifically, but financially, too.
Okay, let me get this straight. We've got a cosmic invitation, a planetary metaphor, a super advanced spaceship, a hand-picked crew, plans for immortality, all funded by this global effort.
Yeah.
But wouldn't there be pushback? I mean,
Yeah.
people would have questions, concerns.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So Reisu acknowledges that. They knew there would be people questioning the technology, worrying about conflict on board, and yeah, even questioning, the ethics of choosing like a select few to represent all of humanity.
Right, like who gets to decide who goes and who stays? That's a huge
That's
question.
a huge question, and the book does try to address those concerns. They talk about the importance of psychological screening and support for the crew, a social structure that promotes freedom and responsibility. And get this, they even frame opposition to the project as like a natural part of evolution.
As part of evolution.
Yeah. They call it the Ptolemaic conspiracy.
The Ptolemaic conspiracy. What is that?
It refers to, Ptolemy, the ancient astronomer.
Oh, yeah, Ptolemy. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, right?
Right. So in Terra 2, this term, this Ptolemaic conspiracy, it describes those who cling to like an Earth-centric view, and who resist the idea of humanity venturing out into the cosmos.
So it's a clash between those who see the Earth as our only home and those who see it as like a starting point.
That's a great way to put it. And Terra 2, it presents this not as a battle of good versus evil, but as like a natural tension between, those who are comfortable with the familiar and those who are driven to explore the unknown.
And they see this tension as essential for progress, like a necessary growing pain.
Precisely. It's like, a species going through adolescence, expanding its awareness and pushing the boundaries of its existence.
That's a really interesting analogy. Okay, so let's say there's this group out there right now that's ready to embrace this whole Starseed vision. How would they even begin to organize something this massive?
Well, Terra 2 outlines a multi-stage plan. They suggest starting with like a series of global conferences. Imagine like scientists, engineers, artists, thinkers from all over coming together to, hash out the technical, social, and cultural blueprints for this mission.
A global brainstorming session for the ages.
Exactly. And for the first two conferences, they specifically suggest holding them in Japan.
Japan. Why Japan?
Well, they saw Japan as like a nation known for its, technological advancements and its unique cultural heritage, a blend of tradition and innovation.
Interesting. So they were really thinking about like the cultural and political aspects of this project, not just the science. But what if Japan, for whatever reason, couldn't host? Did they have any backup options?
Oh, yeah. Terra 2, it mentions Sweden and Austria as backups,
Yeah.
countries known for, forward-thinking leaders and a commitment to global cooperation.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's say these meetings are a huge success. What's next? Do they start building the spaceship?
Not quite. Terra 2 proposes that before building the actual spaceship, they build a full-scale replica of it, like right here on
The
Earth.
full-scale replica.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really ambitious. Where would they even build something that big?
They suggest like a remote island or maybe even a research facility in Antarctica.
Antarctica. That's pretty extreme.
Extreme but effective. They figured that, the harsh environment would be a good way to simulate the challenges of
Right,
space.
a trial by ice.
Exactly. And they envisioned this replica being connected to research centers all around the world, creating like this global network of scientists and engineers all collaborating on the project.
So even the testing phase would be this massive global effort. It's amazing how much thought they put into this.
Yeah, and they weren't just focused on the technical aspects either. They saw this collaboration as like an opportunity to, help humanity overcome its divisions.
To create like a more unified and peaceful global society.
Exactly. They believed that working towards such a challenging goal could actually bring people together, help us see past our differences.
So the journey to the stars begins with a journey of self-discovery here on Earth.
It's a beautiful idea. And it really highlights, the philosophical and spiritual layers woven into this whole starseed projection. It's not just about escaping Earth, it's about evolving as a species.
And speaking of evolving, Terra 2 also gets into some pretty mind-bending ideas about consciousness and reality itself.
Oh, yeah, it definitely goes there. It suggests that, human consciousness isn't like limited to our physical bodies, but is actually connected to this larger cosmic consciousness.
Whoa.
Yeah, Woe is right. They draw on like mystical traditions, quantum physics, even psychedelic experiences to argue that reality is more fluid and malleable than we typically perceive it to be.
So it's like we are not just individuals, but part of this vast interconnected web of consciousness that spans the universe.
Exactly. And by expanding our awareness, we can potentially tap into this cosmic web, and access knowledge and abilities that are like beyond our current understanding.
And that's where the whole neural expansion idea comes in, right? We need to like boost our brains to handle all this cosmic knowledge.
Right. Terra 2 suggests that, developing our psychic and spiritual abilities is essential for becoming true cosmic citizens, not just like physical beings.
It's a pretty radical shift in perspective. It's not just about building a spaceship. It's about fundamentally transforming our understanding of who we are and what's possible.
Exactly. And according to Terra 2, this transformation, it's not just a nice idea, it's essential for humanity's long-term survival and growth.
Okay, so let's play this out. If we embrace this vision of expanded consciousness and become like cosmic citizens, what kind of society would we create on Terra 2? What would it look like?
Well, Terra 2 envisions a society that's, radically different from anything we have here on Earth, a society based on freedom, cooperation, and a constant pursuit of knowledge and self-discovery.
And sounds utopian, almost too good to be true.
It does. And the book, it acknowledges that, creating such a society would be incredibly challenging. They address potential issues like conflict resolution, decision-making processes, and, finding the balance between individual freedom and the needs of the community.
Right, because even enlightened cosmic citizens are still human.
Exactly. And Terra 2, it doesn't shy away from those complexities. They even suggest that, the journey itself, with all its challenges and triumphs, it would be like a crucible for forging a new kind of humanity.
So the spaceship becomes a metaphor for human evolution.
It's a powerful image, and it speaks to the transformative potential of space exploration. By venturing beyond Earth, we are not just expanding our physical reach, but also our consciousness. We are creating new possibilities for who we can become.
Okay, this is all like incredibly thought-provoking, but let's get back to the nuts and bolts for a moment. What kind of tech would we actually need to build and launch this sperm ship? What are they talking about in the document?
Well, Terra 2, it gets into a whole range of advanced technologies, some of which are still theoretical. They talk about artificial gravity, self-sustaining life support systems, advanced propulsion systems. They even mention the possibility of manipulating space-time itself.
Manipulating space-time. That sounds like something straight out of like a movie.
It does, right. But Terra 2 suggests that, if we can really understand gravity, we might be able to create wormholes, like shortcuts through space-time,
Yeah.
which would allow for faster-than-light travel.
So we are not just talking rockets and spaceships here. We're talking about bending reality itself.
Exactly. And they argue that these breakthroughs are not only possible, but they are inevitable, as we continue to push the boundaries of science and technology.
Okay, let's say we crack the code on faster than light travel and we build this incredible ship. But what about the human element? How would people handle living in this completely artificial environment for generations?
That's a great question. And Terra 2, it really dives deep into the psychological and social challenges of long-duration space travel. Things like isolation, confinement, the need for meaningful work, and the potential for conflict.
Because even on a spaceship capable of reaching other galaxies, people are still people, right?
Yeah.
With all our needs and desires.
Absolutely. And Terra 2, it proposes a bunch of strategies for mitigating these challenges, including careful crew selection, rigorous training, advanced psychological support systems, and, creating a stimulating social environment.
So it's about building a resilient mini society, one
Very
that's
well.
capable of thriving in the face of extraordinary challenges.
And the lessons learned from creating such a society, they could have profound implications for how we live and organize ourselves here on Earth, too.
We've covered a lot of ground here. The vision, the signal, the challenges, the technology, the social implications, even the philosophical underpinnings. Terra 2 is a really complex document.
It's a unique blend of science fiction, philosophical treatise, spiritual manifesto, and practical engineering manual.
That's what makes it so captivating. It challenges us to think beyond our limitations and consider possibilities that might seem crazy today but could be reality tomorrow.
It offers a glimpse into a future that's both terrifying and exhilarating. And, whether or not we ever actually build a sperm ship, the ideas in Terra 2, they can be incredibly valuable. They challenge us to expand our thinking, question our assumptions, and consider possibilities that could lead to breakthroughs that benefit all of humanity.
I completely agree. It's a powerful reminder that the human spirit, it's constantly striving to break its boundaries and reach for the stars.
Before we wrap up this section, you mentioned earlier that two prisoners claim to have received the Starseed transmission. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. The book describes how these two prisoners, Lin Wayne Benner and an unnamed companion, they used meditation, telepathic communication with their partners, and analysis of scientific literature to decode what they believed was a message from extraterrestrial intelligence.
Telepathic communication, that's wild.
Yeah. Terra 2 suggests that, telepathy is real, though often dismissed as pseudoscience. The idea is that, by quieting the mind and focusing our attention, we can tap into a deeper level of consciousness and communicate without physical language.
So they were acting like receivers, tuning into this cosmic frequency.
That's how they describe it. And they claim to have received, specific instructions for building Terra 2, along with detailed information about advanced technologies and the nature of the universe.
So they are not just passively receiving a message, they are actively collaborating with extraterrestrial intelligence.
That's what they believe. They saw their experience as confirmation of the Starseed vision, a sign that humanity is ready for its next evolutionary leap.
It definitely adds another layer of intrigue to this whole story.
It does. So to recap, we've got this document laying out this bold plan for humanity to leave Earth, build a sperm ship, and journey to the stars. And this plan, it's intertwined with scientific theories, philosophical ideas, and even claims of receiving messages from extraterrestrial intelligence.
While some people might dismiss Terra 2 as pure fantasy, it's important to remember that, a lot of great advancements in history were once considered impossible.
Exactly. Imagine telling someone 100 years ago that we'd have smartphones land on the moon or even just, fly across the ocean. They'd think you were crazy.
Terra 2 might seem far-fetched today, but who knows what the future holds. Even if we never actually build a sperm ship, the ideas in it, they are incredibly valuable.
They push us to expand our thinking, question our assumptions, and explore new possibilities. It's like a call to action, a challenge to embrace the unknown and work together to create a future that's both sustainable and inspiring.
We don't need a comet signal to start building our own sperm ship. We can start right now by cultivating our curiosity, fostering our creativity, and embracing the power of collaboration. Whether or not we ever leave Earth, the journey of exploration, innovation, and self-discovery, that's what really matters.
Okay, folks, we've reached the end of part 2 of our deep dive into Terra 2. Okay, so we have talked about the big vision of Terra 2, the challenges, the technology, all that stuff. But I'm still really curious about these like culturally themed villages. Can you uh can you give us a picture of what daily life might actually be like in one of these spacefaring communities?
Well, imagine walking through like a bustling marketplace, right? And it's filled with all these amazing aromas of like exotic spices and fruits, stuff you have never even seen before, and it's all grown right there on the ship.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. And maybe you hear like traditional music drifting from a nearby tea house, or you see kids practicing martial arts in this beautiful, serene garden. Each village, it would be like this vibrant hub of cultural expression. It would be like a little taste of Earth's diverse heritage, but out there amidst the stars.
It's incredible to think about like preserving and even evolving those traditions in such a unique setting. But wouldn't there be like concerns about cultural clashes or even like people feeling isolated within these distinct communities?
Yeah, definitely. And Terra 2, it acknowledges those potential challenges. They really stress the importance of fostering interaction and understanding between the different villages. They talk about like creating shared spaces for cultural exchange, having collaborative projects, and even, encouraging the development of new hybrid traditions that like blend the best of multiple cultures.
So it's not about creating like these isolated bubbles, but more like a dynamic, interconnected society that embraces both diversity and unity.
Exactly. The journey to the stars, it would be a journey of cultural discovery, not just for individuals, but for like humanity as a whole.
Now, shifting gears a bit, you mentioned that Terra 2 explores the social dynamics of this future society.
Yeah.
What kind of family structures did they imagine? Or like what about their educational system?
Well, when it comes to Family Terra 2, it promotes a pretty flexible approach, recognizing that, traditional models might not be the best fit for a multi-generational space voyage. They propose like alternative structures based on shared responsibility, mentorship, and chosen kinship networks, allowing for more individual choice and adaptability.
That's a pretty big departure from like the nuclear family model we used to.
It is, but they saw it as necessary for adapting to this new way of life.
And what about education? How do you even begin to prepare generations for life on a starship?
Education in Terra 2, it would be super personalized and experiential, really emphasizing critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability. They imagined like immersive learning environments, simulations, apprenticeships, all tailored to individual interests and the evolving needs of the shipboard society.
Sounds pretty dynamic and engaging.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Yeah.
preparing future generations to contribute to the mission, right? And to like face whatever challenges they might encounter along the way.
Exactly. The idea was to foster like a spirit of lifelong learning and exploration, which is essential, for any society venturing into the unknown.
Okay, one last big question before we wrap up. How would Terra 2 address the potential for like conflict or dissent on board? I mean, even in a carefully selected crew, you're going to have differences of opinion. People are going to disagree.
Oh, for sure. And Terra 2, it really emphasizes the importance of developing effective conflict resolution mechanisms. They draw on principles of like restorative justice, mediation, and consensus building. They propose a system of like elected councils and community forums to address disputes, and the emphasis is always on dialogue, understanding, and finding solutions that benefit everyone.
So a system that prioritizes communication, collaboration, and finding common ground even when people disagree.
Right. It's about fostering a culture of respect, empathy, and this shared commitment to the success of the mission, even when, individual viewpoints differ.
Well, we have explored a truly mind-blowing vision today. Terra 2, it's a testament to like the power of human imagination, our desire to push past those limitations.
It challenges us to think differently about ourselves, about our planet, and, our place in the universe. It's a reminder that the greatest journeys, they often begin with a single step, a leap of faith into the unknown.
So as we conclude this deep dive, I want to encourage everyone listening to hold on to that sense of wonder and possibility.
Mm.
What if Terra 2 isn't just a fantasy, but like a seed of inspiration for the future? What role might you play in shaping a world that embraces exploration, innovation, and a commitment to the greater good?
The stars await. And the journey, as always, it begins within. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Terra 2.
And thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring those big questions and dreaming big dreams.